تبارك اسم ربك ذي الجلال والإكرام.
Everybody's talking about the events that happened today, specifically about Charlie Kirk and his assassination. So, let's talk about this. What happened was he was in Utah. He was in a university called Utah Valley University. There was an event there for him during his American comeback tour. He was just answering questions. It was like a Q&A session, I guess, or something of that nature. And while he was answering the questions, answering one question, somebody from the crowd, or maybe far away, I'm not sure yet, shot and killed him in his neck. He got shot in his neck. And there are reports now that I've seen that have confirmed that he is dead. So, as a lot of you know, Charlie Kirk, I'm not the biggest fan of Charlie Kirk whatsoever. Me personally, I think he was a horrible person. He was a horrible person who had really bad morals. He very negatively impacted the Muslim community and the Palestinian community, specifically his views on what's happening in Gaza. Now, having said all that, right? Am I happy from what happened? No. And I don't think anybody should be happy, to be honest. Because what happened, it was terrible. I don't wish that on anybody, how he went down. It was tragic. It really was. It was a tragic incident. And we should not be celebrating. Yes, he was a piece of trash. Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm saying he was a piece of trash. Okay? But listen to this and listen to this carefully. We are Muslims. They are not our teachers. He boasted and he loved seeing people get unalived in Gaza, get killed in Gaza, get starved to death in Gaza. He loved that. He stood 10 toes down and, full-heartedly supported the Zionist regime in committing war crimes. He would cheer on people that killed innocent women and children. He loved it. But we're not like them. They're not our teachers. Remember this, guys. Okay? So remember this. Who's our teachers? Our teachers are Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the best creation to ever be created. And what did he do in similar cases like this? Well, there was a time, subhanallah, when there's a hypocrite by the name of Abdullah ibn Ubay. When this hypocrite died, okay, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not mock him. He didn't celebrate his death. Even though this person, Abdullah ibn Ubay, caused immense harm to Muslims and immense harm to the Muslim community. Instead, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he prayed for him. He prayed for him until Allah revealed otherwise, that you're not supposed to pray for non-Muslims when they die, right? We can make dua for non-Muslims that Allah would guide them to the right path, but we can't pray for them after they're dead. After they're dead, khalas. They're going to be judged. No, their book of deeds is closed. Now, like I said, okay, I sympathize with his wife and I sympathize with his kids, because that's going to be very traumatic for his kids. And I really wish that his kids would never, ever see the footage of what happened, right? So, this is also a reminder, guys, that your time can come at any moment. Wallahi, tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. You think, Charlie, this guy that was talking so negatively about people starving in Gaza, women and children, and even innocent men, you think that he thought this was going to be his end like this? No. And may Allah give him exactly what he deserves. May Allah give him exactly what he deserves. But again, I want to just really ask the Muslims, don't celebrate this, guys. Okay? Don't celebrate this. We're not like them. You know, I spoke to some people and you know, they're saying like, oh, you know, his kids might be like him when they grow up. No, this is what Zionists say. This is literally their excuse for going and killing children. They're saying, oh, that child is going to grow up to be a terrorist or whatever. And that's how they justify it. We are not like them. Look, I got a Palestinian flag right behind me. I'm Palestinian. I love Palestine. I will stand up for Palestine and as long as I live. But I don't condone this. I condemn it. I condemn what just happened. Okay? And we should all condemn it. May Allah guide us all. Now, the last thing I want to end with, okay, is I just also want to remind everybody of some of the tweets this person did. Yes, I'm not going to celebrate, right? I'm not going to celebrate that he died. But at the same time, we don't forget. We don't forget what kind of human being this person was. So I just want to show some of the tweets that this guy did while he was alive. This is the things that he supported, things that he fought for. So here we go, inshallah. So let's go together. So here are some of his previous tweets, and there's a lot. I'm going to share a few. So first, this is how much he hated Islam. First, he hated Muslims, right? He used Muslims as a scapegoat for everything. Islam is the sword that left. Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. Pretty much, he's saying that you know, a lot of the leftists support Palestine, and Palestine is pretty much a Muslim country, right? Well, yeah, but that's not why the left supported them. They're not supporting them because they're Muslim. They're supporting them because of human rights and just human dignity. They saw that what the Israeli Zionist regime was doing over there was horrible, was immoral, was disgusting. And they stood up for what's right. They're not standing up for it because of religious reasons, no. In fact, most of them are not religious. Most of them are probably secular and atheist, these leftists. In fact, I don't agree with a lot of their ideologies, but when it's time to come and stand for oppression, you stand for oppression. All right, let's look at the second one. 0 people from Gaza should be allowed to come to America, period. What kind of ridiculous trash is this? What if they did everything properly? You know, you keep saying, oh, immigrants are okay to come if they do everything properly. What if a Palestinian guy from Gaza filed the correct paperwork and everything came properly? And I'll tell you what, actually, some of them are entitled to come because it is us, the U.S. government, that's paying for the Israeli government, the Israeli disgusting child killing government, okay, to go and do these atrocities to them. You go into their land, you break you completely destroy their infrastructure, you destroy their buildings. They have nowhere to go, nowhere to live. And what do you expect? You can't cry when you go to somebody's land, destroy it, and then find some of the people there coming to your land. You can't cry because you're the one that caused that, actually. Like, don't act surprised. You know, when people leave there, they're not leaving because of like religious reasons or anything like that. They're leaving solely due to economic reasons. There's no money there. There's no opportunities there. Why? Because the West keeps going in there and destroying it, destroying the infrastructure, destroying any opportunity for it to grow. So it's human nature for one to go to somewhere where he can at least make some money to support his family the best way that he can. So this is just an absolutely racist statement to make. And the last one is, no, Israel is not starving Gazans. What? Like, you saw everything with your own eyes. Israel is controlling both borders. I mean, yeah, they're not controlling the Egyptian border, but the Egyptians are absolutely terrified to do anything there because of Israel. Israel kind of dictates. They tell them, hey, open the border or don't open the border. Now they're, for sure, since October 7th, for 2 years, they're telling them, don't you dare open that border. Don't you dare give any sort of help over there. And you think they're allowing anything to come in from their side? People are literally protesting in the streets to stop the aid from going in. Or they're lacing it with stuff to make it go bad. And you can check all this for yourself. See what else this guy has. Yeah, look at this disgusting tweet that he did. The deaths of women and children in Gaza are the fault of Hamas, not Israel. Just like the deaths in Japan during World War II were the fault of Japan, not America. When a government engages in unprovoked murderous aggression, they are to blame for everything that results. All right, so there's a lot to unpack here. This is equivalent to saying, when a wife beater hits his wife, he's telling his wife, it's your fault that I hit you. You angered me. That's what it's equivalent to. It's ridiculous. What a ridiculous statement to make. Who dropped the bomb in Hiroshima? It wasn't them. It wasn't them. Who's killing and starving children and women and innocent men in Gaza? It's the Israeli government. It's not Hamas. And then when you say when a government engages in unprovoked murderous aggression, the Palestinians in Gaza have been fighting for 75 years. When they came, when these colonizers, okay, from Europe came to our land after World War II, there was no such thing as Hamas. Hamas was started in the 80s. Why do you think they were why do you think they even became a thing? Because Palestinians have been living under extreme oppression. Everything is controlled. Their movements is controlled. Their borders are controlled. Their resources are controlled. Their water, their electricity, even their diet is controlled. for 75 years. And I'll tell you what, the Palestinians have done everything diplomatically in the past. Nothing works. Nothing works. When they signed the Oslo agreements, for example, which was a huge mistake for the Palestinians. We should have never done that. But when they signed the Oslo agreements, the agreement was that there will be no more illegal settlements. Look at the illegal. Let's do a quick Google search. How many illegal settlers are in Israel, in Palestine right now? Yeah, so there's around 700,000 settlers living in illegal settlements right now. 700,000. They keep on taking more land in the West Bank. So when diplomacy doesn't work, when peaceful protesting doesn't work, you're going to get a resistance. You're going to get a resistance. And the Palestinians have every right to resist their colonizers. They have every single right to do so. May Allah bless our resistance groups. All right, let's keep going. Let's see the last one here. All right, this is the last one I got for you guys. So sadly, it looks like the war in Gaza may be resuming once again. While America should remain supportive of Israel and its right to recover the last remaining hostages, we should also be clear. No Gaza refugees will be settled in America, temporarily or otherwise. It's the same thing. But it's like, the double standards is ridiculous. You know, speaking of hostages, Israel has over 10,000 hostages, a lot of whom are under the age of 14 years old. Where these people would go, when I say these people, I'm talking about the Israeli government. They would go in the middle of the night, like in the West Bank, in different cities. Okay, in the middle of the night. They would go into these houses, destroy them, by the way, like wreck everything on purpose, and then kidnap, you know, some of the men of the house, and sometimes it's children, a lot of the times it's children, take them and prison them with no due process. They don't even know why they've been arrested. And their families have no idea what's going on. Right now they have 10,000 of them. That's legitimate hostage. Those are legitimate hostages with no due process. Why don't you ever talk about that? Why didn't you ever talk about that, I should say, in the past tense here? And again, it's the same thing as he said in the past as well, right? About no Palestinian should be settled in America. Yeah, you don't like it, huh? You don't like it when people do it to you. You don't like it when people do it to you. But you know, even after all these tweets, Charlie, I know you don't hear me. You know, you're dead now. But even after all this hatred that you have, I still sympathize. Unlike you did not sympathize with us. I still sympathize with your family. Wallahi al-azim, wa qasam billah, God is my witness. I feel terrible for your kids. I really do. I feel terrible for your wife. It would have been nice for you to also show that sympathy while you were alive. But Allah will deal with you. Allah will deal with you. And that's really, my rant here is done. I just wanted to talk about this. And I advise every Muslim and every Palestinian, we should stand for what's right, okay? Well, they're not our teachers. I say this one last time. They are not our teachers. We don't act like them. All right. Assalamu alaikum, everybody.